Also, voters in Kabuchai, Matungu and 5 wards head to cast their ballot in the March mini polls. There was drama and chaos as unruly politicians once again displayed the politics of chaos, bereft of leadership. Tonight we are keeping an eye on the vote counting exercise in the 7 mini polls. Our very own Mike Kagwongo is in Kabuchai, David Mudoka is in Matungu in a decisive race that pits the political heavyweights across the political divide in the country. Of course, Matungu and Kabuchai being the frontliners in as far as these mini polls are concerned. But first, the highlights. Chaos, mayhem and physical assault mar the high-stake parliamentary by-elections in Matungu and Kabuchai, with several politicians being arrested. Vote counting in 7 by-elections underway after polling stations closed at 5 p.m. Winners are expected to be announced later tonight or early Friday morning. Also tonight, the first batch of the COVID-19 jabs leave the holding facility in Kitengela for countrywide distribution, with the first dose expected to be administered at KNH tomorrow. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha assures all candidates in insecurity-prone areas that they will sit for the national examinations later this month. Mini Mbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, vote counting and tallying is underway in Matungu constituency, with agents of various candidates already keeping vigil at the constituency tallying center. Our reporter David Mudoka is in Matungu and joins us live on this broadcast. David, paint for us a picture first of how the day has been in Matungu.
Well, Abubakar, a good evening from you. I can get you loud and clear. We are at the main tallying center for the Matungu by-election. This is the Harambee Tallying Center right at the heart of Matungu constituency, where actually vote tallying is literally on overdrive. It is a race against time for officials of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission in ensuring that when Matungu residents wake up, they have a new leader who will actually be replacing the late Member of Parliament for this particular constituency, Justice Murunga. So in as much as tallying is, as I mentioned, on overdrive, no result has yet trickled in here at the main tallying center. But we anticipate in the next few minutes or so, we are going to see the first batch of results streaming, because over 110 polling centers have been tallying, counting votes since the close of election, or rather the close of the casting of ballot at 5 p.m. in most of these particular polling centers. So we anticipate votes to start trickling in, and we have a mandate to ensure that you, our viewer, gets to know who has an early lead actually firsthand here on TV 47. This is a by-election that began on a very good note actually, but overally it has been a chaos-ridden by-election, one that was marred by allegations of voter bribery and violence in some of the polling stations. Actually, as we were here just a few hours after voting had kicked off here at the Harambee polling station, there was a scuffle pitting ANC leaders led by Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala and ODM leaders led by Gladys Wanga, of allegations that the ODM party was attempting to bribe voters here and try to sway the support towards their candidate David Were. It is those particular allegations by ANC were further reciprocated in other polling centers, some of whom actually saw voting come to a standstill. But as at 4 p.m., almost all polling stations had resumed receiving in voters, and at 5 p.m., every out of the 116 polling stations closed and began tallying immediately. Again, yes, it is not the only isolated instance of chaos. We also saw earlier today at the Budonga polling station, where ex-sports cabinet secretary Rashid Achesa slapped one of the IEBC officials, and actually security officers in this region launched a manhunt for the ex-cabinet secretary and actually raided his home right here in the western region. But he hasn't been arrested yet. He's still at large. Not so lucky, however, is Kasipul Kabondo, member of parliament, and that is Christopher Were, who was arrested and actually is being detained at the Matungu police station over allegations of voter bribery. So yes, that has summarized what was anticipated to be a calm, perhaps earlier by-election, in as much as here at the Harambee polling station, we are keeping a vigil to ensure that this particular by-election culminates into the IEBC announcing a winner. As I mentioned, Abubakar, we still have no results that have trickled in right now. As you can, as my camera person can pan, you will see all 15 candidates. From the top, Achayo Paula Gutu, Amonga Christabel Jen, Atoko Gregory Lisamadi, all and up to Were David Aoko. Their names have 0 next to it, and that means we still do not have any results yet from the 116 polling stations. Again, this was an election where the voter turnout wasn't at its best, given that this is a vote-rich region, in this case a constituency that has more than 62,000 voters. But again, we shall be getting finer details on how the turnout was when we interact with the returning officer in this particular by-election, who has been conducting actually and overseeing the whole by-election at Matungu, John Kirui. I don't know whether we can have a moment with him. He's approaching. He's been the RO. Just for one quick question, Abubakar. Karibu sana Bwana Kirui.
Asante.
Labda tu you put it out there for our viewer. How has the whole by-election been, especially from where you sit?
From where I sit, generally we are doing good. We did good. The voting went on well. A greater percentage, it was peaceful, apart from a few incidents here and there, which we were able to intervene, and voting resumed. As we speak, we are expecting our presiding officers any minute from now, and we'll start tallying. And within some couple of hours, I believe we'll have the winner, and we'll have known the will of the people of Matungu, whether it has been expressed. Otherwise, the tallying, we are going to tally these results within laid down regulations and the election laws. Yes.
Just one more question. How has been the voter turnout been, given the fact that a by-election doesn't attract as much voters as a normal general election would?
We are yet to receive the results, so we don't know what the percent that the voter turnout has at now. But generally, I believe the turnout was average. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too. Welcome.
Abubakar, that was John Kirui, the returning officer in this particular by-election at Matungu. We intend to keep you abreast of what happens here in the next few hours. He has given us a guarantee that within a couple of hours, yes, we are going to see some action in that particular projected list of results. Back to you in studio, Abubakar.
Well, David Mudoka, before I let you go, one final question. This race pits, among others, David Were of ODM, Peter Nabulindo of ANC, and Alex Lanya. Let's talk of the ODM ANC bitter split within NASA. That was at least in theory, but that seemingly was more practical today. Has it not been?
Well, Abubakar, I haven't heard your question quite well. Perhaps for my benefit, could you repeat it, please?
David, I'm asking, We have, in the last 2 weeks, been witnessing a split in NASA, at least a verbal exchange. But there was more than verbal exchange in the NASA siblings today. There were physical confrontations.
Well, Abubakar, as I put it earlier, it has not been a by-election devoid of all the chaos, of all the drama that we often witness in regions where these particular ties are neck to neck. And actually, perhaps it is the first time we are seeing the principles of the in this case, defunct NASA political outfit go full throttle, head to head, and it definitely draws a lot of attention. It is indeed a high-stakes affair, Abubakar.
All right, that is our reporter, David Mudhoka, who is live in Matungu. Of course, the results are expected to be streaming in any minutes from now. Remember, just on the numbers, the constituency has 5 wards, a total of 116 polling stations, a little more than 62,000 registered voters who are expected to cast their ballot. But understanding there's so much involved in a by-election, the number could be less than that. But of course, David Mudhoka is pitching camp there and will be briefing us of the latest. Let's now cross over as well to Bungoma County, where our reporter Mike Kagwongo is monitoring the Kabuchai parliamentary by-election for us. Mike, a while ago, at least on the numbers, we saw the Ford Kenya candidate take an early lead. Is he still leading?
It's a good evening from Kabuchai constituency in Bungoma County. Abubakar Abdullahi can get you well from Bungoma County. And as earlier on I had informed you is that in Kabuchai constituency, actually, we got more than 57,000 voters that had turned out to exercise their democratic right to make sure that they do vote in their favorite candidate following the demise of former Kabuchai MP, who is Mukwe Lusweti James, who died after a long illness. And just to let you know is that in Kabuchai constituency, there were a total of 8 candidates, including for the Kenya candidate, who was Majimbo Kalasinga, who was actually being backed up by for the Kenya party leader Moses Wetangula. We also have Evans Kakai, who is United Democratic Alliance party candidate, was being backed by the Tanga Tanga crew. And just to let you know, Abubakar Abdullahi, is that today we did experience some ups and downs from security forces that actually made sure that security was manned enough to proceed with the election. This is following the arresting of almost 4 members of parliament, including Kimilili member of parliament Davis, Kimilili member of parliament who is Didmas Baraza, Samson Cheragay, who is an MP, who is a senator in Nandi constituency. It also included Nelson Koech, an MP in Belgut in Kericho County. There was also Wilson Kogo, an MP in Chesumei, which is in Nandi County. Abubakar Abdullahi, as at now, IEBC is receiving votes from different parts of 123 polling stations in Kabuchai constituency. And as my camera person can pan over and show you what is happening here, it is that IEBC is continuing receiving every vote from different polling stations to make sure that they do tally and make sure that they include them together. And as at now, Abubakar Abdullahi, is that Majimbo Kalasinga of Ford Kenya is leading with 973 votes, and followed by Kakai Evans, who has 794 votes. There is also Gas Power Fubwa, who is actually having 68 votes, and Peter Kapanga has 44 votes. Abubakar Abdullahi, just to let you know, is that Majimbo Kalasinga's 973 votes include 51% of the votes casted as at now. Kakai, 794 votes, represent 42% of the total vote counted so far. We'll be bringing you up to date on what is happening here in Mabanga Agricultural Training Center to make sure that you are up to date and knowing on what is happening each and every time. Abubakar Abdullahi.
Thank you, Mike Kagwongo. Mike Kagwongo is following up on the Kabuchai parliamentary by-election. Of course, the constituency has a little over 57,000 registered voters who, again, the expectations are that they have cast their ballot today. 4 wards is what comprises rather of Kabuchai as a constituency. Of course, the lead there as of now is Ford Kenya's the aspirant, who has close to 1,000. Of course, too early as well to call or decide in as far as that lead is concerned. You're watching the Counties Television. Time for us to take a short break. We still have a lot lined up for you from London and other wards where the by-elections was well held. Stay tuned.
You are watching TV47, the home of Untold Stories.
Tamasha Paints, rangi ambayo imeimarika, rangi ya kipekee. Tamasha Paints ni kampuni ya kimataifa ya kuuza aina zozote za rangi ambazo zimechanganywa na teknolojia ya kisasa. Tunakuletea rangi aina ya Cover Matte, Silk Vinyl, Vinyl Matte, Weather Guard, Super Gloss na High Gloss. Pia tuna mafunzo ya kutengeneza rangi zilizopita mafunzo ya kimataifa. Tunafunza kutoka mwanzo hadi mwisho kwa muda wa miezi miwili. Shule yetu ina vyumba vya malazi kwa malipo ya shilingi 40 pekee. Tunapatia wanafunzi wetu cheti inayotambulika kote nchini, kuwatafutia attachment na kuwapatia kazi wanapomaliza masomo. Tunakuuzia mashini ya kutengeneza rangi na kemikali za hali ya juu kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi tutembelee Kangundo Road, Choka area karibu na stage ya Hurlingham, ama uwasiliane nasi kupitia 0712 222 893. Rangi si rangi, rangi ni Tamasha Paints.
TV47, the home of Untold Stories.
Welcome back. Let's continue with our coverage of the vote rush Thursday. And in London ward, preliminary results indicate that UDA's Alex Nzuki has been elected as the area MCA. Nzuki garnered 1,707 votes against Jubilee's Francis Njoroge's 1,366. DP Ruto's allies are already celebrating the win though the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is yet to announce the official results. Well, those are images from a London ward, but it's worth to remember as well that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the body constitutionally mandated to make the official results in such has still not made an official statement to who wins that ward by election. Let's continue. And as voters in 2 constituencies and 4 wards went to the polls in mini polls today, there were chaos witnessed in some parts. In Matungu, police are on a manhunt for former sports CS Rashid Echesa, who allegedly assaulted an IEBC official. And as Josh Onsare now reports, at least 4 members of parliament were arrested during the chaotic by-elections.
Thousands of Kenyans in Matungu and Kabuchai constituencies, as well as 5 wards, woke up to a by-election Thursday. In several polling stations, experienced chaos and violence following allegations of voter bribery. In Matungu constituency, ODM and ANC supporters clashed over allegations of voter bribery.
Nataka tu kushtumu wale wa chama cha ANC wakiongozwa na Cleophas Malala ambao wamekuja hapa katika stesheni kuzua rabsha juu ya vitu ambavyo havina msingi yoyote. Kuja kusema ya kwamba Gladys Wanga amekaa hapa anahonga wapiga kura.
Former sports CS Rashid Echesa was caught on camera assaulting an IEBC official. IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati has condemned the attack, calling for the arrest of the culprits.
Now, it doesn't matter what complaint one has. Please channel it to the right sources so that the commission, which has structures, can act on it. But to take the law in his own hands and attack an officer on duty, it is criminal, and we're calling upon the security agencies in the Matungu and Kakamega County to apprehend this individual and prosecute him.
In Kabuchai constituency, MPs Didmas Barasa, Wilson Logo, and Nelson Koech and Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei were arrested. Police says the lawmakers were arrested for allegedly being in possession of illegal firearms and causing violence in Kabuchai by elections.
What has he done?
In London Ward in Nakuru County, voting was disrupted for almost an hour before calm was restored.
We are not deluded. We know that this is the work of the state. We are asking the state. UDA is only 3 months rebranded. Hatujaka. Na hii kazi tumeanza tu. Ikiwa we are a problem in Machakos, in Makueni, in Naivasha, in Nakuru, in everywhere in Western, in Matungu, in Kabuchai, we are a problem within 3 months. What is going to happen in 2022?
MPs allied to the United Democratic Alliance had gone to Milimani polling station to monitor voting when supporters of other candidates in the race forcibly ejected them. The police were forced to lob tear gas canisters at Senator Susan Kihika, her Elgeyo Marakwet counterpart Kipchumba Murkomen, and Langata MP Nixon Korir, who claimed they were agents of United Democratic Alliance UDA candidate Anthony Nzuki.
This is the person who has supervised and brought goods to come and preach.
In Kiamukama Ward, UDA candidate Moses Nyakeramba was arrested on his way to the polling station.
I'm a candidate.
You are a candidate, eh?
Yes, sasa mnadila nini mimi?
Nauliza hii gari tumepata imepasuliwa.
Police officers arrested Moses Nyandusi Nyakeramba, who was forced to get out of his car by police officers a few meters from Muremani polling station, where he was going to cast his vote. The police recovered sums of money in a traveling bag, alleging voter bribery. In Kitise Kithuki Ward in Makueni, Huruma Ward in Uasin Gishu, and Hell's Gate in Nakuru, voting was calm, but with a low voter turnout. Vote counting is ongoing in various polling stations. Joash Onsare, TV 47.
Now let's move from the by-elections and the results to other stories that are equally making headlines. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has today flagged off the distribution of over 490,000 vaccines to the 9 regional vaccine facilities as the vaccination exercise is set to kick off tomorrow at the Kenyatta National Hospital. And as Zainab Mohammed now reports, healthcare workers will be given priority in the vaccination.
After the long wait, the government says the vaccination process will begin on Friday with health workers at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Speaking during the flagging off ceremony of the distribution of over 490,000 vaccines to the 9 regional vaccine facilities, President Uhuru Kenyatta has assured Kenyans that the government aims to ensure that the vaccine gets to all Kenyans.
Ni mwanzo. Nataka sisi zote tujue hivyo. Huu ni mwanzo, sio mwisho wa safari. Na tunataka kuhakikisha ya kwamba Wakenya wote wameweza kupata chanjo ambaye itawasaidia kuzuia huu ugonjwa wa COVID-19.
The head of state further says despite the vaccination process being rolled out, Kenyans will have to continue following the COVID-19 containment measures in order to curb further spread of the disease.
Wakati tunaanza hiyo safari, ningeendelea kuhimizia wenzangu wa Kenya ya kwamba bado jangwa hili la ugonjwa liko nasi. Tusione ya kwamba sasa madawa yamefika, maisha itarudi kikawaida.
On his part, Health CS Mutahi Kagwe dismissed claims that Kenya has purchased the COVID-19 vaccines at a high price compared to other countries, saying Kenyans should be worried about rumors.
When we are talking about the costs of vaccine, sir, what we have got here has not been bought, not a single shilling has been used, as opposed to popular debates around how much, whether we are buying more than Brazil and other things. The truth of the matter is that the current vaccines delivered here by UNICEF we have not spent any money whatsoever.
The Kitengela Central Storage Unit is a state-of-the-art facility built in 2013 and has a capacity to store more than 6 months of vaccine stock for the country. Rollout of the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines today gives a new ray of hope in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic as the government continues to appeal to Kenyans to continue following the COVID-19 containment measures in order to avoid unnecessary deaths. Zainab Mohammed, TV 47 at the Kitengela Storage Unit in Kajiado County.
Thank you, our health reporter Zainab Mohammed, for that. Keep talking to us. Time for us to take a short break, but still ahead. Also coming up, an anti-corruption court orders a psychiatric test on former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko before he can stand trial on a 14 million corruption case.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
When it comes to pimple care, Acne's Creamy Wash contains multiple vitamins and removes excessive oil and dirt. Acne's Toner rejuvenates skin. Acne's Sealing Gel fights bacteria. Use mentholatum acnes for clear and smooth skin every day.
At Trisent School of Medical Health, Science and Technology, we offer highly competitive courses tailor-made to suit your needs. These include certificate and diploma in theatre technology, medical engineering, nutrition and dietetics, radiography and sonography, science lab, health records, environmental health science, counseling psychology, applied biology, social work and community development, information and communication technology, among others. Register now at our Nairobi campus in Nairobi West around Nyayo National Stadium on 0700-129536. Our Juja campus next to Jomo Kenyatta University on 0700-000760. And our Kisumu campus opposite Swan Center, Oginga Odinga Street on 0703-201229. Trisent School of Medical Health, Science and Technology, where careers come to UIP Real Estate is here to end your search for land because we have the ideal land just for you. Land that's close to the most anticipated Silicon Valley in Africa, Konza City. A prime location that is convenient to the modern lifestyle and has ticked off all the boxes of basic amenities. Worried about the distance? Our prime land is only a property that is within the Konza locality of Mombasa Road, 1.2 kilometers from Konza Isinya bypass and also 500 meters from the proposed Nairobi-Mombasa Expressway. With the under construction of JKIA Westland Superhighway, this will shorten the distance by 1 hour fastway in, out and away from all the hustle and bustle of Nairobi City, or should we call it Kanairo? What are you waiting for? Whether you are looking to buy and build or invest, book prime land with us now and be sure of high returns on your investment. Call us on 0708-423244 or email us at info@uip.co.ke or visit our website www.uip.co.ke. UIP Real Estate, the home of affordable land. You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to TV 47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakr Abdullahi. And now the government has assured candidates from areas dealing with insecurity that they will sit for the national examinations. The government has put in place helicopters that will be used to deliver examination materials. The candidates are set to begin writing their exams in a few days. Our senior education affairs reporter Sharon Baranga has more.
2020 candidates will begin writing their national examinations this month. Grade 4 pupils are set to start their assessment next week.
I must emphasize that these tests should be done in normal class hours, and all learners should be put under all learners should not be put under any tense atmosphere that is different from their normal day-to-day classes.
Form 4 candidates will start their theory examinations on 26th of March 2021 immediately after rehearsals, and they will complete the exam on 21st April 2021. Meanwhile, Class 8 candidates will write their first paper on 22nd March 2021 and they will complete the 3-day exam on 24th March 2021.
To give guidance on how we are going to...
Credibility of the national examinations was at the center of discussion Thursday. Officers from the Ministries of Interior and ICT took an oath with a promise to ensure that cheating will not take place in the examinations.
I want to encourage the teachers in their role as center managers that their job is going to be more difficult this time because everybody is apprehensive. Everybody thinks children are going to fail. Who has told you that children are going to fail? Because we have already said we shall only examine children on what they have been taught, and we shall remember that they were away from school for 9 months. So let's not have the funny issues of people trying to help children. If you want to know what your child knows, will you help your child to give her the answer before she answers you? Then you can't know what your child knows.
I think the impunity that had developed in that sector was so much that even despite it being shown on TV that it shall be the following questions, they still brought those questions, the same ones. And that tells you, CS, where we had gone in terms of impunity and in terms of disregard for the future of our children.
The credibility of the exams are important in the sense that it also reflects also on the credibility of our nation.
I can assure the country that we have earmarked 227,679 teachers of high integrity who will diligently serve the Kenya National Examinations Council as invigilators, supervisors, center managers, and examiners during this process. All these teachers have been vetted, and we have given the names to NEC.
We must stamp out any form of cheating in examinations.
The government has assured candidates from areas dealing with insecurity that they will sit for the examinations just like their counterparts from other parts of the country.
Some of these areas, helicopters will be used to deliver examination materials throughout the examination season.
All candidates are expected to have their masks on during the time they will be sitting for the examinations as a protocol from the Ministry of Health. The number of examiners and those tasked with marking the examinations has been increased, as well as the centers they will use. This will ensure there is enough space. Only teachers registered by the Teacher Service Commission will be allowed to supervise the national examinations. The number of candidates who registered to sit for KCPE in 2020 are 1,191,725, while those who registered for KCSE are 752,981. However, there have been reports of missing candidates who are yet to report to school since learning resumed on 4th January.
Education Cabinet Secretary says they have been receiving claims from people accusing the government of militarizing the examination. But according to him, they are only using the government's resources to ensure they deliver a credible examination to the nation. Sharon Baranga, TV47.
Thank you, our senior education affairs reporter Sharon Baranga, for that. Moving on, a debate on the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 has been postponed in Parliament. Speakers of both houses forwarded the bill to the Joint Legal Affairs Committee in both houses.
I wish to defer.
The Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 had been slotted for the first reading Thursday afternoon, but was deferred. Speakers Ken Lusaka and Justin Muturi directing that the bill be introduced in the form in which the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC had sent them to the county assemblies.
I therefore direct as follows: that upon its first reading today, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020, promoted by the BBI initiative, will stand committed to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs.
The bill was also introduced at the National Assembly and committed to the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. The Joint Committee of the Senate and National Assembly will then be required to facilitate a public participation.
Bills number 30 of 2020.
The clerk of the National Assembly has also been directed to release an invitation for public on the bill and invite the promoters of the bill as key participants. The House Business Committee will also be proposing a motion for the limitation of debate on the bill before its second reading.
The intention of this motion is obviously not to debate the contents of the BBI report or even the BBI draft bill, if we refer it as such. In terms of its merits, its demerits, the contents, but instead, this motion is to facilitate some debate by the House in terms of the process of how we do it.
The Senate will also continue with consideration of business that will not be concluded in today's order paper, including motions, petitions, and statements. On Wednesday, 24th March 2021, the Senate will continue with business that will not be concluded on Tuesday, 23rd March 2021.
You know, BBI, much as it's enjoying good number of support, and I believe popular support in this country, it has also enough enemies, Mr. Speaker, and we have seen those enemies publicly. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, if we made any mistake in the processing of this bill, believe me, Mr. Speaker, we would have faced a lot of hurdles on the way.
At least 42 county assemblies have presented their reports to both houses, with only 2 presenting certificate of rejection.
Now, cracks have emerged among ODM politicians when the party leader Raila Odinga and his deputy Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho shared a podium in Mombasa. And as Mariam Wacharo reports, although the two are comfortable going head-to-head for the ODM presidential ticket, their supporters are reading from a different script.
Akiandamana na wanasiasa wengine, kinara wa chama cha ODM aliendeleza kampeni za BBI mjini Mombasa.
We apologize for that mix-up in as far as the language of that story is concerned, but Mariam Wacharo will be shortly reporting on the cracks in ODM party, pitting the party leader Raila Odinga and his deputy Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, who has also shown interest in wanting to carry the ODM flag come 2022 at a presidential level. Odinga, to some politicians, intends to have another jab at the presidency as well come 2022. Of course, we'll be watching of how that unfolds. And the embattled former Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko has been released on a 500,000 shillings cash bail by a Kahawa court in one of the cases facing him. Although the prosecution argued that Sonko may influence the witness against him in the terrorism charges facing him, Chief Magistrate Diana Mochache ruled that the witnesses, who are all police officers, should be put under protection if the prosecution feels their lives are in danger.
After close to a month in police custody, former Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko's sigh of relief came at a time when he least expected. Sonko, accompanied by 3 nurses alongside his relatives, drove into the Kahawa Law Court at around 1 p.m. in the escort of the anti-terrorism police unit.
I have done the quorum. Can you take the file back?
With his health not so good and taped to his monitor, Sonko listened as his defense team and the prosecution engaged in a brutal heated 6-hour exchange. The prosecution asking the court to decline Sonko's bail application. Chief Magistrate Justice Diana Mochache declining the prosecution's request that Sonko's influence and ability to command his followers, given his political prominence in the county, would limit investigations.
The first accused is released on a surety bond of 1 million or a cash bail of 500,000.
Sonko is accused of recruiting a terror group, with his co-accused Clifford Ouko and Benjamin Odhiambo facing charges of possession of military attire, intending to commit terror. The two have been released on a 200,000 shilling bail. The case will be mentioned on the 22nd of June. Musa Salah, TV 47.
Well, still in the corridors of justice, and Elgeyo Marakwet Deputy Governor Wesley Rotich has been released by a court in Eldoret after he was arrested and charged for an offense of obtaining goods by false pretense. The Deputy Governor appeared before Eldoret Law Court's Chief Magistrate Linus Hassan and denied all the 2 accounts. According to his lawyer, the Deputy Governor is accused of an incident that happened on the 3rd of August 2018 at Aries Supplies in Eldoret Town within Uasin Gishu County for an intention to defraud and obtaining goods valued at 351,000 shillings.
On 3rd of August 2018, at Aries Supplies Limited in Eldoret Town, within Uasin Gishu County, with intent to defraud, you unlawfully obtained 14 pieces of tires, make road shine, and 1 lorry battery, make chloride, all valued at 351,000. Is it true or not true?
The matter came before the court, and he has been able to be released on favorable bond terms. The sum of Kenyan shillings 100,000 and a surety of a similar amount. Basically, he'll be coming to court again for hearing when the matter will be heard on 28th of June 2021.
The issues that are coming up in this country now is whatever skeletons may be there are being sought depending on how you vote on BBI. We know for sure that Elgeyo-Marakwet County, whereby the so-called chairman of BBI in Rift Valley is the governor, opposed BBI through a vote, and the no vote carried the day, and that is where they went now and started fishing up anything that they can get to harass Wesley.
Let's now revisit the ODM leadership disquiet, and cracks have emerged among ODM politicians when the party leader Raila Odinga and his deputy Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho shared a podium in Mombasa. And as Mariam Wacharo reports, although the two are comfortable going head-to-head for the ODM presidential ticket, their supporters are reading from a different script.
While on his 4th day tour of the coast rallying support for the BBI bill, ODM leader Raila Odinga met with Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, and their ambition for the presidency in 2022 clashed. Again, Raila saying it is a democratic right for any party member, not only in ODM but the country in general, and reiterating that he fully supports the move from Hassan Joho. However, Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino charged at Joho, asking him to shelf his presidential ambitions in favor of Raila Odinga. Remarks that were sharply rebuffed by the Sultan, who was also backed by Baba. It is at this juncture that Joho wondered the audacity of anyone opposing his bid when the leader himself okayed the move.
Naomba gavana wetu, wewe tunakupenda na uko na future, kwa unyenyekevu, tafadhali, let us shelve our ambition kidogo for the sake of Raila Amolo Odinga. Na hapa ndugu zangu, too much ambition destroyeth a man. However, too little takes him nowhere. So any man must be ambitious.
Mimi sio mwandawazimu. Nilivyosema nataka kuwa rais, na maanisha nataka kuwa rais wa taifa hili la Kenya, my friend. Sasa wewe, na wauliza nyinyi ambao mnaongea huko ovyo ovyo, kama mpinzani wangu wa tikiti cha ODM Raila Amolo Odinga amesema anakubalia na candidate yangu, wewe ni nani upinge? Wewe ni nani upinge?
Wengine wanasema tio Joho hawache. Baba kumweza hajasema yeye anasimama. Baba alisema yeye atatangaza baada ya BBI kukwisha. Lakini Joho ana haki kabisa kuwania kiti ya urais na tikiti ya chama cha ODM. Asa ndio hapa.
On his account, Mombasa County Deputy Governor William Kingi said that Babu Owino's remarks were unwelcome and that he should respect the governor's ambitions.
Leo tumesikia hapa kidogo na nitamkosoa ndugu yangu kutoka Nairobi. Aliyesema hapa Babu, aliyesema kwamba governor should shelve his ambitions. Sasa akishelve his ambitions, si yeye anataka kuwa president, ni hawa watu wa Mombasa, au sio? Hawa ndio wamesema nenda juu, kwa sababu chama ni cha ODM, chama cha Democratic Party, ataruhusiwa. Hata baba mwenyewe alisema kule Kilifi kwamba Joho ana haki ya kusimamia president wa Kenya. Si ni sawa?
Mvita Member of Parliament Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir faulted Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi's theory over the formation of a coastal coalition, which he says is just an escape plan for the governor to continue to stay in power after his term ends.
Wenye kuzungumza lugha ya kuwa wanataka chama kingine. Wakati wa ukoloni kulikuwa kuna Coast People's Party. Baada ya hapo kuweza kukaingia kadu asili. Baada ya kadu asili kukaweza kuingia shirikisho. Baada ya shirikisho kukaingia chama tele. Chama cha ODM sasa hivi. Deputy party leader wetu Hassan Ali Joho ni Mpwani. Baada Raila Amolo Odinga akitoka hapa, wa pili in command is Hassan Ali Joho. Leo mnatuambia tuache yale tuanze mengine from scratch. Siku zote mulikuwa mko wapi tunawauliza?
Likoni Member of Parliament Mishi Mboko jolted the government's move to vaccinate citizens against COVID-19, saying that the first batch to receive the vaccine should be the government before the citizens.
Lazima kuwe na utaratibu wa kina. Lazima wao kwanza wadungwe, tuone survival yao, tuone kama wako sawa, tuone kama haina madhara, tuone kama haitatusumbua sisi kama Wakenya. Kwa sababu katika mitandao na katiba graph and information tunasikia maneno mengi sana, na Wakenya tumeingia uoga, tumeingia shaka. Kwa hivyo lazima serikali iweke mikakati ya kuhitajika sana, ya kina sana, ili tuweze kuruhusu hiyo vaccine waweze kudungwa.
After all was said and done, Raila had a message for his political arch-rival, Deputy President William Ruto, and of the hustler politics.
Ati waekeni wajinga nwerevu hawana. Waekeni wajinga nwerevu hawana. Ukiona wakilewa usidhani ni tajiri. Hiyo ni mali ya umma wameiba toka kwenu jamaa.
Raila Odinga is expected to complete his coastal tour on Friday in Samburu, Kwale County. Mariam Mwacharo, TV47, Mombasa County.
Elsewhere, the Director General of the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, Mamo Boru Mamo, was hard pressed by the National Assembly's Committee on Implementation to explain how his organization came up with a report which gave London Distillers Kenya a clean bill of health, despite the committee finding out that the company had caused major damages on pollution in the area of Athi River, Machakos County. Members of the committee, fearing that NEMA was colluding with London Distillers Kenya at the expense of Kenyans who are majority affected by the pollution from the company for failing to instill the required system to control pollution. The committee has ordered NEMA to present another report within 7 days, failure to which the committee might be forced to withdraw the license for London Distillers Kenya.
Parameters that were not compliant. There were 2, color and sulfides exceeding the limit. Sulfide at 4 milligram per liter, slightly exceeding the discharge standards, but will be reduced further through the treatment and dilution at EPZS sewerage.
Can you tell us which other sources are these? Because it indicates clearly that they must be knowing other sources of contamination other than the London distillers. Therefore, they cannot tell us that there is other sources, whereas they don't tell us which are those sources. Number 2, Chair, we are talking about lives of people. Where today we are wearing masks simply because of a virus which can kill so many people. You know, let us not joke around with the lives, and we are talking about the lives of the people and lives even of your own children, your brothers and sisters who could even have bought a house there.
I think it's an offense to try and mislead a committee of parliament. I'm making reference to a letter the so-called control order by NEMA on the 9th of June 2020, where they are confirming that they received a letter from LDK on the 18th of March 2020 about the procurement, the installation of a state-of-art equipment. But in the same letter, which is dated 3 months later, they are complaining about pollution by LDK.
I don't know why my mind keeps on thinking that there's a collusion between London Distillers and NEMA on this matter. And I do not know what kind of relationship that these two entities have. Because this is how Kenyans die because of environmental pollution, where the agency that has been put in trust by Kenyans to ensure that the environment is taken care of colludes with merchants to perpetrate this kind of thing. I don't think Parliament should really tolerate this kind of thing.
And what we are ordering now as a committee is that the decision of the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, as of now, must be complied with. And anybody who was directed to comply with that report does not do so, then we shall sanction them before Parliament. And if it is a licensed authority, then we'll insist that the license be withdrawn for any business. If it is a government agency, then they'll be sanctioned accordingly. If it's a private company, Parliament will exert its authority because we cannot act in vain and we cannot be taken in circles.
Well, it's time for us to get to the world of sports now. Let's bring in Dennis Otieno. Dennis, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, thank you, Abubakar. Now, tonight, we will be telling you about an award earned by Tusker FC striker Henry Major. We shall also be telling you about the prospects of Bandari FC lifting the title this season. Now, this and more coming up in just a bit. A very warm welcome to Primetime Sports. My name is Dennis Otieno. Now let's start off with an FKF award ceremony. Now Tusker FC striker Henry Major was Thursday crowned the January FKF Premier League Player of the Month in an award ceremony held at the club's training base, the Ruaraka grounds in Nairobi. The budding teenager, who is making his debut in the top tier, was fitted on the merit of his 4 goals and 1 assist in 5 matches in January, beating Wazito midfield star Kevin Kimani to the award. The 19-year-old helped Tusker begin the month with a 1-0 victory away against Kakamega Homeboys, scoring a brace and providing an assist in their 4-2 triumph over Kariobangi Sharks, before scoring the winning goal as the Brewers secured a 2-1 win over Zoo FC at their Fraha Stadium in Nakuru. To wrap up the month, Major takes home a 50,000 Kenya shillings monetary package and a personalized trophy.
So, saa hii niko na confident na naomba Mungu pia nimeka kwa final squad. Ndio kwa maana niko huko hivyo na wakad niendelee kuwa huko nikuwe kwa final squad.
FKF Premier League side Bandari has laid bare its ambitions of landing a first Premier League title. The club, which registered 4 wins in 4 matches in February, has risen to 3rd on the log, underlining the intentions.
4 wins in 4 matches, a perfect record in February that has lifted Bandari to 3rd on the log. Head coach Andre Kasambungo revealing the secret behind the recent upturn in fortunes.
Kabidi tutafute strategy inaweza kufanya power balance ya offensive defensive, na hiyo imetusaidia kwa hizo game 4 zimejiongeza hapo karibu. Tumefunga goli 10, tukafunga goli 1.
Kama kawaida wenzangu wako tayari, team spirit iko juu, ni tunangoja tu kufanya kazi.
Most striking, however, is the intentions of the club. Bungo and technical director Twahir Mohidin both noting that the journey to bring the league title to Mbaraki grounds had just commenced.
Kubeba league ni nani? Ni process. Ni process, ni safari. Sasa niwaambia ningali nafika hapa ni safari. Hiyo safari haiwezi kuifanya kwa muda wa season moja, inaweza kwa season 1, 2, 3, 4. Muda ndamaliza Mombasa. Mwenyezi Mungu anisaidie, ni dream yangu kubeba to win league.
Iwe ni mwaka huu, mwaka ujao, Mungu atujalie tukue ubingwa. Sababu tushamaliza katika nafasi ya pili mara 2
The Dockers' ambitions have received a shot in the arm following the arrival of assistant coach Anthony Modo Kimani from FC Leopards on a year-long deal. Kimani terming his new role as cool.
Nilipata msukumo tu wa kujaribu kuja hapa ili mradi kando tu na kuisaidia timu kusonga mbele, na mimi pia nikaweza kusoma zaidi kwa wakufunzi hawa wenye uzoefu mkubwa. Ndio maana kwamba kwa miaka ambayo inakuja angalau na mimi pia nikaweza kuimarika.
Bandari will be seeking a 5th league win on the bounce as they host Nzoia Sugar at the Mbaraki grounds on Saturday. It is a story that started in 2019 at FC Leopards, the dynamic duo of Andre Kasambungo and Anthony Modo Kimani tying a football knot, a bromance